The rise of the Mughal Empire in India, spanning from its establishment by Babur in the early 16th century to its expansion and cultural peak under rulers like Akbar and Shah Jahan, transformed the Indian subcontinent. This period brought together military innovation, administrative sophistication, and cultural synthesis, leaving a lasting legacy that shaped India's history and culture for centuries. Here is a detailed exploration of the key battles, policies, and legacies that defined the Mughals' rise. The Mughal Empire's story begins with Zahir-ud-Din Muhammad Babur, a Timurid prince with ancestral roots tracing back to Timur and Genghis Khan. Driven out of his ancestral homeland in Central Asia, Babur set his sights on India, a region rich in resources and embroiled in political instability under the Delhi Sultanate. In 1526, he confronted Sultan Ibrahim Lodi's forces at the First Battle of Panipat. Babur's army was outnumbered, but his use of advanced military tactics, including matchlock muskets and cannon, both of which were relatively new to Indian warfare, gave him a decisive advantage. The victory at Panipat not only marked the beginning of Mughal rule in India, but also introduced Central Asian military technology and tactics to the subcontinent. Following his victory, Babur quickly moved to consolidate his control, seizing Delhi and Agra and proclaiming himself the ruler. He encountered resistance from regional kingdoms and faced challenges in stabilizing the territory, but his leadership laid the groundwork for an empire that would endure and evolve over the next 2 centuries. Babur's son, Humayun, inherited the empire in 1530. However, Humayun faced numerous challenges in maintaining control over Babur's newly acquired territories. His rule was tested by Sher Shah Suri, a powerful Afghan leader who harbored ambitions of his own. The two rulers clashed, leading to Humayun's eventual defeat and exile. Sher Shah seized the throne and ruled over much of northern India, establishing the Suri dynasty for a brief period. While Sher Shah's rule was short-lived, his administrative reforms, such as land revenue systems, the introduction of a postal system, and road-building initiatives, would later influence Mughal policies. In 1555, with Persian support, Humayun returned to reclaim his throne in Delhi. However, his victory was short-lived. He died only a year later, leaving the empire to his young and dynamic son, Akbar. Akbar ascended the throne at the age of 13, facing initial challenges from rivals like Hemu, a Hindu general who sought to seize power. In 1556, Akbar's forces clashed with Hemu's at the Second Battle of Panipat. Despite Hemu's significant military strength, Akbar's forces triumphed, establishing the young emperor as a formidable ruler. Over the next 5 decades, Akbar's reign transformed the Mughal Empire. His military campaigns expanded Mughal territory far beyond northern India, encompassing Gujarat, Bengal, Rajasthan, and parts of the Deccan Plateau. Recognizing that sustainable rule required more than conquest, Akbar sought to integrate diverse communities into the empire's administrative and cultural framework. His policies of religious tolerance and alliances with Hindu Rajput princes were groundbreaking. He married Rajput princesses and appointed Rajput nobles to key positions in his administration, building a powerful coalition that supported Mughal rule. Akbar's son, Jahangir, continued his father's policies of religious tolerance and administrative efficiency, while also focusing on the arts. Under Jahangir's rule, Mughal painting reached its peak, with detailed portraits and scenes that emphasized realism. Jahangir also maintained diplomatic relations with foreign powers, including the British East India Company, which had begun establishing trading posts along the Indian coast. Jahangir's successor, Shah Jahan, is often remembered for his monumental architectural contributions. His reign marked the zenith of Mughal architectural and cultural achievements, exemplified by the construction of the Taj Mahal, a symbol of Mughal artistic mastery and romanticism. Shah Jahan's era also saw the completion of the Red Fort in Delhi and other significant structures, which displayed the grandeur and sophistication of Mughal craftsmanship. However, Shah Jahan's architectural projects strained the empire's finances. This economic pressure, combined with a power struggle among his sons, led to instability in the later years of his reign. Aurangzeb, Shah Jahan's third son, seized the throne after a brutal war of succession, defeating his brothers and imprisoning his father. Unlike his predecessors, Aurangzeb adhered to a more orthodox Islamic rule, reversing Akbar's policies of religious tolerance. He reimposed the jizya tax on non-Muslims and restricted Hindu festivals, which alienated large segments of the population. Despite his religious conservatism, Aurangzeb was a formidable general and expanded the empire to its greatest territorial extent. His campaigns in the Deccan brought the Mughal Empire into conflict with the resilient Maratha forces led by Shivaji, whose guerrilla warfare tactics frustrated Mughal ambitions. Aurangzeb's costly campaigns in the Deccan Plateau drained the empire's resources and led to increased taxation, resulting in widespread discontent and regional uprisings. Aurangzeb's strict policies and relentless conquests marked the beginning of the Mughal Empire's decline. The Marathas grew stronger, and regional governors began asserting greater autonomy. By the time of Aurangzeb's death, the empire, though vast, was financially weakened and politically fragmented, unable to withstand external threats and internal dissent. The Mughal Empire's cultural legacy is profound, leaving an indelible mark on Indian art, architecture, language, cuisine, and society. Mughal architecture, a fusion of Persian, Islamic, and Indian elements, gave rise to iconic structures such as the Taj Mahal, Fatehpur Sikri, and the Jama Masjid. These monuments reflect the Mughals' sophisticated artistic vision and remain emblematic of India's historical heritage. The Mughals also fostered a syncretic culture that integrated various linguistic, religious, and social traditions. Akbar's encouragement of diverse religious discussions, especially through his establishment of the Ibadat Khana, symbolized an openness that fostered intellectual growth. This era saw the development of Urdu as a language that blended Persian, Arabic, and local dialects, and Mughal miniature painting reached its peak under Jahangir's patronage. Politically, the Mughals introduced a structured and efficient administration that greatly influenced Indian governance for centuries. The Mansabdari system provided a framework for military and civil administration, while their centralized land revenue system facilitated effective governance across a vast empire. These institutions influenced subsequent Indian rulers and later, the British colonial administration. After Aurangzeb's death in 1707, the empire was weakened by internal divisions, financial strain, and a lack of capable successors. Regional powers, such as the Marathas, Sikhs, and Rajputs, grew increasingly powerful, gradually eroding the Mughal hold over India. The arrival of European colonial powers, particularly the British, further destabilized the empire. By the 18th century, the British East India Company had established a foothold in Bengal, exploiting the Mughal Empire's vulnerabilities to expand its control. The empire persisted in a weakened state until the British formally abolished it in 1857, after the Indian Rebellion, ending centuries of Mughal rule. However, the legacy of the Mughals lives on in the Indian subcontinent, visible in its cultural diversity, architectural marvels, and the enduring influence of Mughal art, language, and cuisine. The rise of the Mughal Empire is a testament to the power of military skill, administrative innovation, and cultural synthesis, creating an enduring legacy that has shaped the Indian subcontinent's identity and history in remarkable ways.